Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at this honey farm. Today's just a showcase, not a tutorial, but there will be a tutorial released in a couple weeks. Don't expect it as quick as the last tutorial of the dark oak farm. I just had a ton of extra time there. But this farm produces roughly 3,000 honey bottles per hour, which is quite a bit. I don't know if you'd ever actually need any more. I actually just emptied it like less than a minute ago and we're already getting them consistent. So really, I'll let that kind of fill up for a little bit, and I'll just talk about the farm. So the basics of the farm really boil down to these little modules here. What they are is they compare the signal of the beehive, and when the beehive is full, it sends a signal through, and it shoots a glass bottle up, and it removes and it creates a honey bottle. And then we have a minecart that goes underneath and collects all the honey bottles. One thing I should mention is this should always be full of glass bottles, because if not, and there is a honey bottle in there, or if there's an empty slot and that shoots a glass bottle up, the honey bottle will replace that slot, and then it kind of, I don't want to say jams the system, but it's not a fun thing to diagnose and fix. So we can actually see here is the bees. There's 3 bees in a hive. They all come out and they pollinate that flower, and then they take the pollen and create the honey inside the hive. And when the hive is at a honey level of 5, we send a signal through here, and we shoot a bottle up, and then we collect it with these minecarts going back and forth. But then what we do is we reset the signal, because these have a weird tendency to not reset themselves. So we have this little system that again just turns off the system. So I don't want to say that this module is tileable, because it is 4 wide, but they do fit beside each other perfectly. So we can see here, we just have a couple unloading stations where the honey bottles are picked up. So let's look at this one, see if we have any. Not that one. Top one should have some. Yeah, at least 2. So we'll see it'll stop here, which I guess it didn't. But what it does is it just unloads them, and then it sends them down into this overflow protection, and then sends them into a dropper elevator, and then we get them here. So what we can do is we can take them out, craft them, put our honey away somewhere, and then we can put the bottles back into the system. The one downside to this farm is it cannot be built in spawn chunks, and it cannot be built in loaded chunks. You can only load this farm when you're using it, or else what happens is eventually you'll fill up the overflow protection and you'll fill up this, and then the farm will be running dry, because there's actually no way to really turn off the bees entering and exiting. So again, I probably should just reiterate that this farm can only be built in a place, or you can only use this farm or load the farm when you're using it. And then from there we have the glass bottles. Again, I just have some extra flowing in through here. They get sent through this up through a dropper elevator, and then they get sent into this fill station. So these station, or these minecarts that go around, they fill up their full inventory of 64 times 5. But really we only need 64 times 3 plus 20 to fill up this entire farm. And if you do the math correctly, that's 212 modules and 636 bees. So we can actually see this is the minecart that redistributes, oops, if I can grab it, redistributes the glass bottles into here. And we have a little bit of overflow protection there. But it just goes through all of them. And then it eventually comes down through this tower and then into this system, and this system just refills it, and if this is empty then it sends it off, and if this is full it also sends it off. So it's just safety. And what's nice about filling these up filling up all of these with a little bit extra is you never have to worry about, if this runs out of glass bottles, you still have roughly an extra 32 times 63 times 9 theoretically before you should be worried. If that made any sense. It just means If you don't fill this up with glass bottles, or you forget to convert them from the honey bottles into the glass bottles, you don't have to worry because there's almost always extra. We can hopefully see, yep, here it comes. So it should be, yep, like that, fills it up, and then we'll see this trapdoor retract, and it'll be off on its way. This farm's pretty simple. It's just a bunch of little modules connected by a bunch of rail lines and hopper minecarts. Each of these can be turned off if you so please. I wouldn't really recommend it because eventually they're going to create those honey bottles and then they're going to despawn. Yeah, really, the only thing that you have to really worry about with this system is making sure that you convert these quickly. So if we, oops, let's do this. This farm has a lot of extra safety features in it, which make it hard to break. Like if this chest were to fill up, it stops this dropper elevator from firing any more up. So it just locks these hoppers, and then these ones would fill up, and then eventually these chests would fill up. So you actually have room for quite a bit of extra storage. If you want to go the extra mile, you can just make this a lot more extra. Yeah, this farm's really not that complicated. It may look like it, but it's just a lot of really simple systems connected all together. And the next farm that we're actually going to build is going to be an ice farm. So the ice farm showcase will come out in between this farm and the tutorial of this honey farm. So stay tuned for that. And if you really enjoyed the video today, please consider subscribing. Helps me out a ton, and you'll get to see a lot more cool farms like this. But that's it for me today. Hope you guys have a great day, and see you later.